Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from asortofinterestinlife.com. You're joining me on board good old Narrowboat Tilly, and today I'm going to attempt to record a quick video in response to some of the people who've asked me what my New Year's resolutions are. I say I'm going to attempt to record a quick video because I've got a feeling in my usual way this is going to end up droning on and on and on and so on. So let's dive straight in. First thing, there's the obvious ones that I think we should all be trying to do, such as eat healthier, save more money, and those usual sort of standard ones. In terms of generally getting out there and being active, as many of you know, in general, my whole lifestyle is built around trying to let me get out there and be as active as I can. And I think that after a year like last year, 2014, the weather that we had was absolutely perfect, and it really did make it an absolutely great year. And because of obviously having so much great weather for such a lot of the time, I was able to really get out there on my bike, whether it was wearing me boots up the hills locally or a bit further afield, or in the kayak from the boat roof. One of the best purchases I made last year, definitely the kayak. And obviously having such great weather means that when you're in the rural surroundings that I try and moor up in, there's not much more that you can ask for. So I did plenty of actual outdoors sort of stuff last year, and what I want to try and do this year is more of the sort of bigger events. For example, last year I was hoping to do a lot of camping, but ended up only really going on one proper trip. Well, I say only going on one proper trip. Went up to Yorkshire with a couple of friends that some of you may have seen the video where we did the 3 peaks of Yorkshire, and it was generally a fantastic time and really reminded me just why I love camping and just, well, again, why I love being able to sometimes get out to further afield and going up these bigger hills and bigger mountains. And in general, just trying to do more of that sort of thing. So I definitely want more camping this year. And in general, for day-to-day things that I can do, I want more sort of day trips out to proper big mountains, maybe a few more of the bigger Welsh ones locally. And equally, I'd quite like to set aside 1 or 2 days every now and then to just go out on my bike and just bike, ride all day, and maybe put in like 40-50 mile days. I've done a few sort of long walks and a few long bike rides last year, but nothing sort of compared to what I wanted to do. When it comes to the long walks that I did last year, that was more down to very poor planning and lack of direction and sense on my part, rather than actual, yes, this is the route that I'm definitely going to take. So those are the sort of active standard things that I want to do. If we consult the Oracle, that is my little notebook. So I suppose first of all, this some of you may know I keep a little diary and then have a notebook in here as well. And what I want to do in terms of keeping a diary this year is, rather than try and write proper sort of written diary entries that are all paragraphed and that, I'm going to try just as an experiment to start with, and then if it works well I will obviously do it a little bit more. But basically, try and write a few things about each day. Maybe wait till the end of the week so I can say, right, these were the most important things of the week, and just generally list down a few things so I've got them for future reference, and I can go, well, look at that, 2 years ago in January I was recording this video and I thought that this and this was important to mention, or I thought on this day in summer it was important for me to note down that a swan went past the boat at this time, and just generally have that sort of thing to look back on. I'm a big fan of keeping a diary, as many of you know, and I just wanted to try something slightly different that I would hope, or I do hope, will add a few more things and make me give a more sort of comprehensive day-to-day view of what I thought was important at that point in my life. So that's my diary plan. Equally, I want to try and do a few more of my little line drawings and little watercolour pictures that I try and do in here. I'm no great artist, so if you haven't seen my videos on stuff like that, then please don't go off looking for them expecting to see some incredible works of art. Really, I think that one of the biggest things I want to try and do this year is focus on specific things and specific goals and specific jobs or whatever I'm doing at that particular moment. So, for example, as some of you may know, I'm currently writing and finishing off my next narrowboat book, which will be out by the end of January. I'm not entirely certain when, but look probably for late January if you're interested. And so something like that is obviously quite a big job, and I spend an awful lot of time writing, and in general I do a lot of writing, which has led me over the last sort of few months to end up working on not one, not two, not three, but 4 different books in one go. And obviously it's not as if I'm sat down writing like thousands of words of one book, then moving to the next book and writing thousands of words there and moving like that. It's more just sort of moving from one idea to the next and then back and doing little bits here and there, which obviously over the year means that I'm not focusing specifically on this task or on this particular book. So in the last month or so, or the last month of 2014, and then obviously now these weeks of January, I'm spending all of my time, pretty much all my free time is going in rereading, rewriting parts of the book for January, and then editing and proofreading, and then going back through it and altering little bits here and there. And so obviously that gets things done an awful lot quicker than when I'm going, right, yeah, I'll look at that book today, and then tomorrow I might do a little bit of writing somewhere else. And the way that the boat book has come along in the last sort of 6 weeks or so, I am very pleased with, and I hope that you'll enjoy it when it comes out. But it's specifically because I've sat down and been focusing for week after week after week, specifically on, right then, let's have a look at this part of this book today, let's have a look at the next part tomorrow, and then after that, yep, the next part along. So obviously it makes it a much more coherent process, and I can think back and go, right then, I put that in there, so I might move this part here and maybe delay this or add a little bit more in about that event. And basically, by focusing, I'm making a much better book than when I wasn't focusing. So I hope that you'll enjoy how it turns out. It's slightly different to the previous boat books, but it's still sort of in a very similar theme. Well, it's about living on a boat, so as you can imagine, it's got a very, very similar theme to the other boat books. Anyway, so that's one area like that I want to try and focus on. Equally, if I'm recording videos such as the documentaries and things like that that you'll have been seeing recently, where they're a lot bigger, a lot more labour intensive to film and edit and plan and get to different places to do different filming sometimes, and something like that is a lot of work. And again, I want to say, right then, this week is going to be the week that I do this documentary episode, where I'll literally have everything planned out, go out, film, do this, do that, whatever needs doing. Hopefully within a couple of days have all of the footage needed, and then the next few days can be editing and then tweaking and then watching the finished product and then tweaking it a bit more, and just like the book I suppose, but on a sort of more regular scale, and obviously in an audio-visual form. So those are some of the things that I want to do, and equally what I really, really need to focus on is getting boat jobs done. As many of you will know, as far back as about 6 months ago during the summer, I was talking about painting the inside of Tilly and decorating and touching things up. And I did manage to get an awful lot of painting done on the inside during the summer, but then never really got round to actually putting the finishing touches to it. So then that meant that when I first moored up for the winter last in November, goodness me, time has flown, I was then trying to do the finishing touches, but then started to put the Christmas decorations up and getting distracted with other things. So it's really, again, all about focusing on the task at hand and getting this done, getting this done, getting this done, rather than going, right then, I'll tinker around outside and have a sort out in the engine bay and clean that up. And then I'll come back in and do some painting next week, and then maybe I'll fiddle around with the chimney and the fireplace. And it's basically, instead of going, right, what's the job for this week? Painting, great, I'm going to do that all in one go, and it's going to take as long as it takes, but then it'll be done. I've been doing, yeah, right, I've done a lot of painting, that's enough for now, let's have a look at this. And so it's been never quite finishing one job properly, but sort of spreading out the hassle of one big job into lots of smaller jobs in half-finished jobs all over the boat. Anyway, I've said the word jobs an awful lot in that sentence. I hope this video hasn't been boring you. Really, those are the only things that I really properly want to focus on in terms of my day-to-day life. There's a lot of stuff that I want to focus on in terms of YouTube and online stuff, such as actually getting more proper videos of biking and outdoors things going on. There's an awful lot of boat videos lined up to be filmed, so I hope again that you'll stay tuned and enjoy those. Really, I think one of the biggest things that I am concerned of with YouTube is editing GoPro footage of biking and kayaking and things like that. The footage that the camera records, there's something of a sort of bleached quality about it that I don't quite like. and unfortunately it's the only thing that I can't do on an iPad or on me iPod is edit or basically add a bit more colour back into the videos to make it look more like it does in real life. And equally, I've got an awful lot of old videos and old footage from literally going back to almost 3 years of Narrowboat life now. And I can't get any way of pulling that from the hard drive it's on somewhere in my old bedroom at my mum's house back into a place that I can edit it. I've got a old MacBook Air, as some of you know, in my bedroom at my mum's house, which unfortunately the keyboard and mouse has not been working properly on it for a long time, and because I bought it second hand, so goodness me, going back a long time now, it must be a good few years old, and it's not a very powerful computer to begin with, so now when I go to put the GoPro footage in, it literally can't handle it, and it's literally uneditable. So I might at some point have to buy myself a little laptop to cope with my YouTube plans, and that's the only thing that's really going to dent the save more money plan. Hopefully, touch wood, it's the only thing that's going to dent those plans. So I'm hoping that by sort of April, I'll have put enough money aside to get myself a little laptop, then start really fetching you even better videos, I hope. I know that a lot of people have enjoyed and been sending me messages and commenting and sharing the half-an-hour-long documentary episode from New Year's Day, and it's been absolutely fantastic to see the response to that, so thank you so much indeed for that. It's been, well, it really has been amazing. When I put it together and it was half an hour long, I was like, not sure if people will like this, but thank you so much. There'll definitely be more stuff like that coming in the future. But again, it's like I say, just want to put some money aside, get myself this laptop, and then hopefully when it comes to doing these proper bike trips and going out kayaking, I'm going to be able to edit and put together an awful lot of footage, as well as I've got a planned video that could well be up to an hour long, using a lot of old video footage. But it's going to take, it literally, I cannot do it at all until I get this laptop. So hopefully you will still be tuning into these videos when that comes around, because I think it might be quite a nice video I'll put. Definitely a boat life video. So I've whittled on and on and on. I can only apologise, sorry, what are we? 13 minutes long, this video. Sorry about that. Right, thank you so much for watching. I'm just going to wrap things up now. As I say, feel free to subscribe and check out my other videos for loads of general boat life, and obviously, as I've mentioned, all the outdoor stuff, whether that's kayaking, walking up hills, obviously cycling, I couldn't think of the word then, and of course boating itself. Feel free to add me personally on Facebook and Twitter, or like the Facebook page if you want to see general photos and updates from life on the canal. And as I say, if you would like to support me, if you'd like to help me save up for that laptop, then please do consider checking out my books available for the Kindle. Search for The Narrowboat Lad on Amazon, or check all the links to everything I've just mentioned in the description below. Until the next time, keep it boat worthy, have a fantastic year, and I hope to see you around soon. Farewell.